Hey everyone, welcome back to Rooster's weekly video update. COVID-19 restrictions around takeaway and click and collect services in Scotland are set to tighten. Only shops selling essential items like clothing, footwear, baby equipment, homeware, and books will be allowed to offer click and collect, and takeaways can no longer serve customers indoors. Instead, they must operate from a hatch or a doorway. International travellers will need to present a negative COVID-19 test to enter England from 4 a.m. this Friday. Passengers will be required to take a test in the 72 hours before departure by plane, train, or ferry, and provide evidence of a negative result or be refused permission to board. The Telegraph has published a useful guide to the current state of play regarding travel passports, who may need them, and which countries will enforce their use. So you can find a link to that in the article. Jet2.com and Jet2 Holidays have suspended all flights and holidays until 25 March, meaning the airline has essentially closed for the rest of winter. Virgin Atlantic and EasyJet staff are being drafted in to help with the NHS vaccine effort in the coming months. Staff for both airlines are expected to be fast-tracked into the system to help with administering the vaccines in various capacities. All air passengers arriving in the United States will be required to provide evidence of a negative pre-departure test for coronavirus, the US CDC has confirmed. The requirement for international travellers to provide proof of a negative pre-departure COVID test on arrival and still go into quarantine is likely to last until at least mid-March. It's according to industry sources preparing to implement the new rules, who say there is a realization that the current situation across the UK is grim. And the UAE will be taken off the UK's travel corridor list, meaning travellers returning from their destination will have to quarantine for 10 days. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps tweeted the news on Monday evening, and it means that as of now, travellers arriving from the Emirates to England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland must self-isolate for 10 days. Consumer confidence has been hit hard again by the third lockdown, but bookings are still being made for summer 21 and into 2022. Alan Cross, the head of trade sales at Jet2 Holidays, has said that consumers' confidence has been hit, and it's been hit hard, but there's a lot of pent-up demand, so he considers there still to be encouraging signs. And VIP Ski has been saved after its former boss has led an acquisition of the business, along with certain assets from APS Select Limited, including the VIP Ski trading name. Kawani has launched a one-stop advice hub detailing requirements and restrictions that are in place for travel. Their COVID travel advice hub is now available online for anyone to use, designed to make it easier for people to plan holidays for the year ahead. Virgin Atlantic and Ryanair have both been rated the worst airlines out of the UK's 6 major carriers when it comes to customer satisfaction over refunds. In a new Which survey, both only received a customer satisfaction rating of 13%. And the Consumer Champion asked 1,559 people in September about their experiences claiming a refund for a flight cancelled during the pandemic. While VIP Ski has been saved, Alpine Elements has collapsed into administration as of Tuesday, but the owner of the 23-year business has brought back the brands, goodwill, and the trademark. As US politics remains unavoidable, the US House of Representatives has voted to impeach Donald Trump for the second time. He's the first president in US history to be impeached twice. And with 10 Republicans crossing the floor to support the impeachment vote, he also holds the record for the most bipartisan impeachment yet. The Senate will now vote on whether or not to uphold the impeachment and to hold him to trial. And if they do, Donald Trump cannot run for public office again. Over in social, headline news is that Trump has been suspended from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube after the storming of the Capitol last week. The situation isn't quite as straightforward as it seems, as Twitter kind of kicked off the flurry of suspensions, technically because he circumvented a 2-week ban by tweeting as himself from the White House account. Circumventing a suspension that's already in place on one account using another account is a bannable offense. So that's kind of what they got him on, and then other platforms were quick to follow suit. Upstart conservative social network Parler has also been removed from the internet because of its role in organizing the Capitol riots. One by one, the pieces of their tech stack, like Amazon that hosted their servers, have removed them from their platforms as they refuse to clamp down on really violent rhetoric amid fears of a worsening riot. And similarly, Facebook will start censoring posts that reference hashtag Stop the Steal in the lead up to the inauguration in an effort to crack down on potential upstarts of rioting and violence again. Outside of US politics, elsewhere in social, WhatsApp is facing some backlash over privacy changes that mean that WhatsApp users now give their data to Facebook and Instagram for advertising purposes. Signal, which is co-founded by one of WhatsApp's co-founders, has been the biggest beneficiary of this news, and similar app Telegram has also shot up the App Store and Play Store charts. LinkedIn has also added swipe up links to LinkedIn stories. As per Instagram story rules, there are certain requirements on what you have to be and how big your account has to be able to get access to those links. Links on stories have remained controversial and a little bit of a contentious issue on Instagram, particularly this year as people were kind of organizing. Maintaining certain standards of access mean that you do help keep spam at bay. New data from the Pew Research Center shows that 72% of Americans now get news through social media in one form or another. Facebook claims the crown, with 36% of Americans getting their news there. YouTube comes in second at 23%, and Twitter slots nicely into third place at 15%. Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok are developing their diversity and inclusion programs, with Facebook appointing a new VP of Civil Rights to fix its approach kind of internally generally. And YouTube and TikTok are launching new Black creatives programs to help foster new talent and make sure that they're shining a light on less privileged voices. Part of TikTok's inevitable growing up, they've also announced policy updates to better protect the young users who are driving the platform's explosive growth. More than 1/3 of TikTok's users are under 14, so they've now locked by default all new accounts registered with ages between 13 and 15 as private by default, which means you won't be able to see their videos unless they accept you as a follower. And if you're curious what Facebook considers the future of shopping, they've just published a new long read from Facebook IQ, their research division, about what shopping looks like both in-store and online in the near and far future. They've also published regional reports, so if you head to the article, you can grab the UK report there as well. That's all from us this week. Stay tuned, stay safe, and we'll see you next week.